Hey there, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be drawing a Ferrari V12 from scratch. Why would I want to draw from scratch? Well, I think that's a great topic that I really wanted to kind of cover in this video. Because I have a really good sense of the fundamentals, and for me that's perspective and proportion, that gives me a lot of room to play with everything while I'm drawing. So, for example, if I'm starting out with basic lines, grid lines, blocks, then as long as I've got a decent reference to where I can figure out where to place those items, I can actually draw anything in any perspective. Lighting and color comes in a little bit later and it has its own complexities. But for me, in general, I don't want to just replicate a photo. To me, I don't consider myself a photorealistic artist. I like to stretch and skew and force proportions a little bit to be a little bit more dynamic and a little bit more interesting. I don't simply want to just reproduce a photo. If I can get to a photo quality with details, I think that's fantastic. But when I look at something, and I am looking at references, in my mind I think, okay, I want to kind of rotate this area up this way, or get the perspective up a little bit higher or down a little bit lower, so that I can show the viewer something in a different way than they're used to. Now I also want to say that I don't think that there's necessarily anything wrong with tracing, and of course having great references is really important. You need to know what details are important and where to put them. And you couldn't possibly memorize every car, every engine, every detail of everything. I've drawn a lot of things a lot of times, so there's plenty of things that I've done that I have memorized. But I don't like the idea of tracing all the time, because I think it removes a really important step away from the artwork, and at least in the case of design work. If you have the line work already sorted for you by way of tracing, then you're essentially just coloring in at that point. Depending on the type of art that you're after, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just not my approach, because I want to know that in the end I've created something that's different than any photo that could have been taken. Granted, the type of artwork I do is majorly based in design and technical illustration, hopefully with some realism to it, because there needs to be some believability. But the key sometimes is presentation. Can I draw something more interesting than if a photo was just taken? So I have to look at references to understand where all the pieces and parts go, but at some point there has to be a departure so that I can have some creative space to do my own thing. If I'm going to change wheels or bumpers, if I'm doing an interior, the idea that there is a perfect reference photo for everything is insane. At some point, as long as you have a good understanding of the fundamentals, you can draw anything from any angle. It does mean you have to have some good references, for sure. But if you draw from scratch, the whole world opens up to you. Thank you guys for checking out this video. If you could, please like and subscribe, and let me know what you'd like to see in upcoming videos.